There's a lot of independent guitar shops out there, and you might think they're all competing for the same guitar dollars of those customers.
Sort of.
I mean, not really. We're actually all this sort of strange collective that like and support each other, and it's this weird hippy-dippy thing, shockingly, with a lot of the shops.
Bunch of losers.
So, I mean, we are nerds. It's like, who likes Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, all that weird stuff? You know, it's like that, sort of. Who reads Dune? Yeah, okay. It's the guitar shop guys, and we all love this. So it's very confusing to find that there's not this like hyper competitive trying to hurt each other. We're actually sending folks to each other if we don't have the things. You know, so
because we're dumb.
it's strange. You know, we have a community mindset.
We seriously, we do, and
Right.
it's a good thing. You know, and it's honestly, it's one of the best things about, I think, this being in this strange little guitar world is that there's that community mindset.
It is weird because we're all even though we're in business, we're not really good at business in the same way. Like, you know, the major manufacturers, they're about business.
Right.
And the major, you know, shops like Sweetwater's and Guitar Centers, it's business. You know, not the people that work there necessarily, but
once you get that big and there's a corporate structure, it is a bottom line. You know, it has to be, right, or it can't. That behemoth can't function without it being that
like,
a bit.
Independent shops aren't just about sales. It's really focused on people and players.
Right.
And like, we're all players first and foremost, and then the people we meet. I mean, for goodness sake, we have a guy who just drove across the country to hang out with us. I'm not even talk about the nice things he's done for you and Sean right now. That's sort of private.
It is, but man.
But yeah, it's not what you think, you naughty-minded folks. But that's funny too, though. But no, it's important for the independent shops to keep retail alive. The brick and mortar is a dying art form. It's been going away for decades in some ways, ever since the advent of the interwebs.
Yeah.
And the conglomeration and just cohesive nature of the major big boxes sort of fighting out amongst themselves. And one of our favorites, Sammy Ash, taking the sword to the heart and disappearing from the fold. Bummer. It's a hard place to thrive, and that's why there is a point where a lot of us talk to each other.
Yeah.
We help each other, we thrive. So why do we do this, besides the few points we just started with? Johnny, why don't you take us on this first one?
Shared struggles. Nothing like kind of knowing what it's like, you know what I mean? Knowing what it's like to be in the trenches, to make it so that you have this sort of bond with folks. It's good to have bond with people that are doing the same things as you. I mean, stuff like, you know, everything closed down because the whole world has a pandemic, or, you know, not being able to get new products, right?
And that was the supply chain the nightmares there too. And then now, then there was a phase of too much product.
Too much product.
Too much after the supply chain reignited. And
there's also, you know, we've talked plenty about like big box stores and Guitar Center and that kind of stuff. But there is this feeling that it takes almost all of the little independent shops to feel like there's any sort of chance against the especially to have the buying power of.
Well, because it's not just the giant big shops. Now we're competing against the manufacturers as well.
That's right.
And there is competition there. Don't mistake us. And we've been very pointed about that. And you know, we have our strong feelings. Like when the guitar companies decided to go direct to consumer, it was a betrayal of the entire dealer agreements that we've always lived by since the beginning of retail. Their argument, well, we have to do it. The times are changing. I'm like, well, times are changing. You're seeing it right now within some of the ramifications of your major purchasers not being able to work with you in the same respect.
Yeah.
It's some independent shops will step away from manufacturers that they've been with for a long time because of these decisions.
Absolutely, they will.
To the point of, you know, $1 million of purchase orders. You know,
and eventually that will catch up with the manufacturers.
Well, because the independents are not together. We're over 40 to 50% of the market.
Right.
You know, so and there's a few that are like bigger, and there's a lot of little ones all together. But that's part of it. So let's jump on to something else we do. We share resources. So one's pretty simple. If you need a guitar and we don't have it,
call our pals at Chuck Levins, or we've done that like a million. You know what I mean? Or all the shops that we love that we know they specialize in things that maybe aren't our wheelhouse so much.
I try not to send people to Wildwood Guitars because Steve is so nice and soothing on the phone. He's like a pleasant cult leader. Nice. He just sort of soothes you. He soothes you, and then you're just gonna like love him, and you're gonna join the cult of Wildwood. So we don't want that. But no, all of our shops.
Start getting 10 tattoos all over you.
Oh God, yes,
You know?
that's funny.
Little 10 stamped on your forehead.
Top, boom,
10.
top.
WW10.
It's just
Wow.
yeah. So watch out for those folks out west. No, it's a, you know, we always want to help. Whatever we can do to help avoid just like, traditional big box or direct from manufacturer purchases. We're going to help try to do that and navigate that.
For sure.
We've spent years all together working in these trenches as we've gotten to building a network.
Yes.
Where we talk to each other, we text each other, we talk about the builders, we talk about the ones that are up and coming, the ones that are on their way down, the ones that which companies are having some serious financial struggles.
Right.
Knowing like building speed queues and whatnot. So like if you are looking for a certain guitar within a certain time, this company or this builder might not be the right thing for you. So just
I think in that network it's nice, and this has happened a few times. I can think about like if we're all noticing a thing, especially with a certain company or whatever, and we're like, man, is that just us? And then you go and talk to a Steve or you talk to somebody at a different shop, and we find out it's across the board. It's kind of relieving, I mean, there's a comfort in that.
I've had to do that multiple times. Yeah. It's strange just to kind of get a pulse on like, hey, like we're having a hard time selling this brand right now.
Is it just us? Do we just suck?
Do we suck at this?
What, no.
And then,
or sometimes yes.
Sometimes yes. Yes. We're kicking butt with this. Someone's like, and I've talked to like 10 dealers sometimes with certain ones just to find out. They're like,
yeah.
We're all seeing sales have dropped 90% on this one manufacturer.
Because we don't have 250 stores to canvas, you know what I mean? But the way to do that is we have one. So you talk to your pals.
And we talk to big ones too. We're not just calling, somebody that's like working at like the back of a cigar shop, which would be a dope guitar shop. Somebody open that.
That would be cool.
That gotta be cool.
With
cigars and guitars.
Cigars, gerbils, guitars.
With the scoops for the gerbils.
That was the last one.
And the gerbils can travel between the guitar shop to the cigar shop, the guitar shop to the cigar shop.
Oh my God. Have a cigar. You're gonna go
Sorry,
far.
I'm having a moment there.
Okay, all right. Now we're back. We're back to it. We're back to it.
I don't know. Just sorry. I've been gone.
We lost them.
Okay.
Derek's totally editing this out.
So why does it matter to you? So that we all sort of work together. Like it's you're not just buying a guitar. You're investing in a place.
Yeah.
That will help shape not just your tone, but work on your guitar. Be a place to hang out. Be a place to reach out to. Be a place to watch on the internet like this and talk with and have and have a meaningful relationship. Sometimes much more than the ones we have in our own houses.
Some guys walked in earlier, and we're all sitting around having our lunch. That's what we do at our little table in the guitar shop every day with our pal Mark, who's visiting from like a country length away.
Literally from California.
And
California.
You said, hey, it's like the barbershop. We're just all hanging out. Play anything you want, come in and hang out. So that is something that's worth investing in, I think.
And it's something that if the biggest ones in the industry go down, they start to teeter. It's not just like, oh, let's look at one of the major independents. If they stop being a thing, it's not like everybody's like, yay, now that market share opens up to us. That's a bad thing.
Right.
We don't want to see that happen. We don't want to see Guitar Center go down.
No.
I think Guitar Center is vital for the manufacturers because it's like about 20% of their market maybe at this point. It used to be higher, I think. Maybe it's a little bit less now. It used to be, I think it's pulled back. Sam Ash pulled back dramatically, obviously before the closures. But we root for all of them. Sweetwater too. We still shop at Sweetwater. Sean's finally got that paid off, I think. He's done, he says. Taking a break now. Get that credit card done.
I mean, But I mean, we all buy stuff from Sweetwater. They actually saved me quite a bit on my taxes this last year right off. So
no, I know. So independent shops, we spend years supporting each other, and then in turn we can support you with all the needs you might have in the future,
yes.
And just the fun you want to have too. It's a crazy business. It's been crazy over the past few years in particular. Ever since COVID lit up, it's been just like it's been fun to watch because like we're always figuring this out, and we always thought the major manufacturers knew what was going on. Like as far as they have just as little as idea as us sometimes.
It's like when you're a kid and you think adults are smart.
Exactly.
And then you're an adult and you're like, when does it happen that you know things? And then you're like, oh,
like Mom and Dad
all these
didn't
people
know
were stupid. Yeah, no.
Everything. They were just as confused as us.
Stumbling along. It makes a lot of things make sense. You're like, oh, okay.
I mean,
so
the next time you visit a shop like ours, like, know you're in it they're in it for the long haul.
Yes.
Like, these independent shops, some of these have been around for so long, and their blood, their sweat, and their tears. They've seen families grow up there. They've,
Yep.
from band and orchestra rental groups to their own families have been raised in that shop. Like my kids come through all the time. Your kids come through and they're gigantic behemoths.
Yes,
well, your
true.
daughter's not. She's still a sweet petite angel.
I mean, she is. She's kind of perfect. Anyway. But it's beside the point.
Yeah, she's wonderful. So I'm going to talk about your daughter for the rest of this final finale of our video here. No, it's really it's a weird, neat network, and it all started. I remember going to like the first NAMM show, like by myself with my wife, and I met a few guys through some of our reps, and then I went to the first Fender event, and I really connected with some dealers, and we all sort of hit it off. Even like Scott Engel, who's now with Gibson, but he was at Russo Music. Like he became one of my favorite people in the guitar industries. I've known Steve Mespley at Wildwood for 20-something years now, I think.
Wow.
Who knows? It's been too long.
That's cool.
Because I used to send people. I was talking to him just yesterday about how many people I sent to buy his custom tailored Cocobolos.
Yeah.
Because they were these gorgeous things, and they were with the Godot tuners back before you saw all that stuff. Then Chuck Levins and like Carlos is one of my favorite people.
Carlos is awesome.
I mean, again, one of the best dancers you'll ever meet. Ask to see the Pistols.
Pistols are great.
And then
Legendary.
Yeah, the Sims family. They're unbelievable, and they just welcome me into this whole weird zany collective. And then one of my favorites is old Paul up at Music Villa, as well. Like what a good look. He's like
Very photogenic on the camera.
he's a gorgeous man.
He is.
It's shocking. His wife is so lucky that she gets to lay with him whenever she wants to. And
Count your blessings.
no, but it's like these are the beating hearts and like leaders. Some of these things, and like Greg Koch and Wildwood, all this stuff. It's nutty. It's zany. They're always there for me when I'm having a bad day. I just turn on the YouTube and I can watch some of that stuff just to sort of like take my head out of like the things that might be troubling me. And hopefully this does that for you too when you're looking for something just to not think about real life for a minute. And if you haven't watched it in a while, watch the Dune series 1 and 2 because Jonathan, Dune 3 starts production next month.
Oh.
December 2026 release.
I'm excited.
This year, December 2025, the third Avatar comes out. The Blue People saga continues. Fire and Ash. Sci-fi is going to be raining hard for the next 2 years. Dune, I think, is some of the best modern sci-fi in ages.
Kind of amazing.
So thank you for joining us for a little bit. Support your local shops. We actually support each other all the time, and it's really cool. It's neat to have that brotherhood. I love them all. And there's countless others I couldn't even mention here because that would have been too much note-taking, and we don't have time. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
This is Jonathan.
That's Baxter.
We're friends. We support each other.
That's true.
And, talk about stuff all the time.
All the things.
We need therapy. Talk to you guys soon.
Goodbye.